Good evening. In continuation of that seed legislation system in India, so today we are going to discuss about that PPVFRA 2001. PPVFRA means it's a Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmers' Rights Act. So before getting into that PPVFRA, I wanted to give you some information regarding that seeds and importance of seeds and some historical development with reference to that IP protections. So we were discussed so many definition and many things related to that seeds, but anyhow, the seed is the embodiment of life, continuity and renewability, and also ultimate symbol of the food security. And the seed is the only part of agriculture chain that is growing at 20% a year. And so we have to essentially to understand the implication of legislations and this important agriculture input. So that is very important. From the economics point of view, dry seed important in agriculture since seeds are often a starting material for crop protection and crucial for achieving the good harvest. And that seed need to be regulated at least three different perspectives. The first one is regulating the quality of the seed sold in the market for the purpose of providing best quality material to the farmers. Then only we can maximize that farm income. In that angle, that seed seed quality need to be regulated. That the second thing is regulating the safety of the seeds, because along with the seeds there is a chance for introduction of undesirable pathogen and pest population also. So that also need to be regulated. Then regulating the high technique product seeds. So now we have a seed material with some gene incorporation in the name of GMO and all those things. So this under high technique product material. So all those materials also need to be regulated under intellectual property rights. So as far as that seed policy in India is concerned, so that total policy, whatever that policy formulated and acted, everything is divided into two categories. That is before introduction of the WTO and after introduction of the WTO. The Seed Act 1966 and Seed Rule 1968, Essential Commodity Act 1955, Seed Control Order 1983, New Policy on Seed Development 1988. So these are all earlier happening. So before introduction of the WTO. So after introduction of the WTO only, we started to talk about that plant variety protections, intellectual properties, and all those things. And also the WTO also they are very much for that intellectual property rights, and and also they are insisting some mechanism to protect the intellectual thinking the person involved in the crop breeding activity. So under this case only we developed that PPVFRA and National Seed Policy 2002 and Seed Bill 2004, and furtherly that one is revised the last year 2019. So all those things will comes under the after that WTO regime. So today we are going to discuss about that PPVFRA. So after introduction of the WTO, that is the World Trade Organizations, we are giving more importance for the intellectual properties, particularly in agriculture. Also, we need to have some IP protection mechanisms. So these are all some historical development with reference to IP in agriculture. During the year 1930, first attempt to recognize that IPR, intellectual property rights, is enacted by Plant Patent Act by the USA. So they enacted a patent act mainly for the purpose of protecting the intellectual ideas of the person involved in the agriculture. Then 1961, 78 and 91, so series of discussions are made by the International Union for the Protection of New Varieties of Plants Convention. As outcome of it, they formulated that UPOV. Under UPOV we have mechanisms, or we have guidelines for protection of varieties and protection of the breeders' rights. And 1983 to 1993, so there is a discussion was took place for about 10 years by FAO, that is the International Undertaking on Plant Genetic Resources, in the name of IUPGR. So in that also they are also discussed about that breeders' rights, farmers' rights. And 1986 to 1994, so things were happening, particularly that general agreement on tariff and trade. So several round of discussion in that also they given more emphasis on IP protection in the area of the agriculture. Then 1992 they come out of that Convention on Biological Diversity. So that Convention on Biological Diversity, they mainly concentrating on conservation of the biological diversity and that utilization of that conserved biological material for the purpose of developing a new kind of things for the usefulness of the human beings. If at all we are going to use or exploit the biological material for the purpose of producing that new material, means how best we are going to share the benefits between the conserver as well as that new variety developer. So that and all there in the CPT. Then 1993 some revision was made in the IUPGR, that is IUPGR, that is formulated and the discussion in between the year 1983 to 1993. In that in order to harmonize with CPT, some revision was made in the year 1993 and 1995. That is a that is a historical year with reference to IP in agriculture. So at the time only the World Trade Organization, they started to insist all the country they must have some system to protect varieties, either that systems may be equal to patent or that system of their own, or a combination of patent or a system of their own. So that kind of things need to be created as a as per that TRIPS, that is a trade related intellectual properties, a part of a WTO systems. So after that only all the countries started to think of that and started to develop a system of their own. Some of them are adapted and that already available, that UPOV kind of systems, in order to protect their variety as well as to give rights to the breeders, and these are all the things. Then 2001 to 2004 international treaty on plant genetic resource for food and agriculture, that is a multilateral systems for access and benefit sharing, was some things was some policy was formulated. Then 2010 the Nagoya Protocol of CPT on access to genetic resources and the fair and equitable sharing of benefit arising from the utilizations, everything is formulated. Then some country wise some development with reference to that IP protection and legislations. 1869 quality control and improvement of plant propagation material was made in Germany. So another thing also I wanted to share, that the system of seed certification was first started in Germany. So they only develop and they only realize the importance of the field inspection and purity of the material and everything. So 1869 they develop a quality control and improvement of plant propagation material in Germany. 1871 in Switzerland. 1881 things was similar kind of things was happen in Austria. And 1895 seed control systems under the Farmers Union was started in Germany. Then 1897 the Farmers Union system of that Germany was taken over by the German Agriculture Society. 1905 a register of newly bred variety opened in Germany. 1905. Then 1921 first law to regulate production and trade of the plant propagation material in Czechoslovakia they were started. Then 1930 first country to provide protection of new plants varieties by granting a patent, that is a Patent Act USA, Townsend Monroe Act. Then 1937 Cuba, 1952 South Africa, 1961 ultimately we are having a UPOV, International Union for Protection of New Varieties of Plants. So this also a international authority. Then 1969 Hungary they formulated certain policies for IP protections. 1973 in South Korea. 1992 Convention on Biological Diversity, such as the CPT. And 1995 trade related aspects of intellectual property rights and agreement. As per this agreement, all the member countries they must have their system of their own. So with reference to protection of other material other than plant material, so many kind of protections, IP protections are available. Some of the things I wanted to discuss here. So one of the IP protection system is a copyright. So we have a Copyright Act 1957. Under Copyright Act, we can protect our material, particularly the paintings, that kind of things, and all we can protect. That period of protection also 50 years. So the Madhubani painting is very, very popular. Similarly, in Tanjavur also we are having Tanjavur paintings. Though this and all very popular at a national, at international level. So all those items are protected. Once that protected, only that person having that copyrights alone able to produce and sell that particular material. If anybody try to pirate that one, so they are the punishable as per this particular Copyright Act 1957. Another kind of IP protection is a design. So Indian Design Act 2000 is there. Under Indian Design Act, we can protect our material for 10 years period of time. So here that materials like textile, pattern, folklore, toys, village artifacts, and everything we can protect. So Varali designs also already have that protector under these particular act. So they are also enjoying. And then another kind of system for protecting the intellectual ideas are trademark. So here we have a Trademark Act 1999. So the period of protection also 7 years. So here we can protect that word marks or abbreviation or hologram of one particular company or a particular chemicals. So this is mainly useful for marketing purpose. So the trademark we have to establish for visualizing your product in the market. So this will increase the market potential. Already so many trademarks are available. So all those things are all given in this particular thing. So another kind of protection is a trade secret. The Pepsi, Coke, Sprite, all those things they are producing, the chemical composition, everything they are kept it under secret. That is a trade secret. Similarly, in the case of so that also a kind of IP protection systems. So these are all the systems are available for other products. Similarly, we have another kind of protection, that is a GI, that is a geographical information systems. So this also really useful with reference to that agriculture produce, particularly that material made out of that plant material obtained from one particular region alone able to give a very good taste or very good nutritional property that may be there. Particularly the material on the orange originated from South India, that is a Kurk orange or Mysore petal leaf and Pedaki chili. These have some unique property. A unique property that and all there. If you get the material only from the South India, if you get the material from some other part of the India, in that material you cannot have that kind of taste. Similarly, the basmati rice also we have to harvest from the north, so then only we can enjoy that particular that aroma. And similarly, North India, it's known for Kangra tea, mango, Malayabadi, Daskari. So these are all some peculiar mango. Central India, Nasi grapes and Marawali strawberry. This and all have some unique taste, and all we can enjoy. The material is harvested from Central India, and East India we can have that Darjeeling teas and some mango things also there. West India we have Gir Kesar mango and Palya wheat. So this and all a world popular material. So all those materials and all protected under geographical information systems. So that GA Act also available, that was enacted in the year 1999. So once this kind of things are obtained, automatically they become a monopoly. So from that region alone, they can produce that particular products. So this is also a kind of IP protection. So that is specific to that geographical locations. So you may aware of that the patenting systems. So this patenting also a kind of IP protection, intellectual idea protections. So this is mainly for new invention, non-obvious material, and commercially useful material. That product must have some commercial values, and the period of protection also 20 years. And these patents are given for the process patent also available, idea patent also available, material patent also available. If it is a process patent, means process patent is normally given for that process adapted for the drug, food, medicine alone is allowed. And the material like plant, animals, seeds and varieties not allowed to be patented under Patent Act. So this is a very, very important thing. So we have a variety of IP protection for a variety of material, but we don't have a IP protection with reference to our plant varieties, and also to protect the interest of the intellectual ideas of the person involved in the development of a new variety. So under that intention only, the TRIPS, they insisted to develop a similar kind of a pattern kind of systems or system of your own, mainly for the purpose of protecting the variety and protecting the rights of the farmers and the breeders. So as per that international obligation under TRIPS article 27.3, the TRIPS mandated that members countries enforce minimum standard for protection of wide range of intellectual properties, and also they excluded some of the items from patentability. So they excluded things are plants, animals other than microorganisms, and essential biological process for the protection of plants and animals also excluded. But other than non-biological and microbiological process, if it is a non-biological or microbiological process, means for that process we can get the patent. And however, members shall provide for protection of plant varieties either by patent or either by an effective seasonal systems or a combination of both. And the country is free to choose. So whether they are ready to go with a pattern kind of system, they can. They are ready to go with the seasonal system, they can. So that raises with the countries their own responsibility. So in order to fulfill that particular article requirement, TRIPS article requirement and UPOV systems, so we formulated that PPVFR Act 2001. So that one is formulated in 2001, and rules are also framed by intensive work in between 2003 to 2012, and also we are started to implement that one from the 2006 onwards, and regulations also developed over the period of 2006 to 13. As outcome of that, now we have a Pakka system for protecting the variety and protecting the right of the farmers and protecting the rights of the other breeders, and ultimately all these kind of protection leads to attracting more investment from the R&D side of the new variety development. So that created some competitiveness among the breeders, and that competition leads to development of more number of useful varieties that coming in a picture, particularly for cultivations, and also valuable and traditional materials also now known to everyone through this kind of protections. So all those materials also protected, all those materials also very well used for development of new varieties and hybrids and benefit sharing, all those things. So those things we are going to discuss one by one in this particular upcoming slides. So why to protect our plant varieties? So that is a question always arises in your mind, because we are keep on talking about that one for the past 10 slides. So with reference to India, we have a rich source of biodiversity. We have a more number of material in each category. We have the rice itself, we have thousands of varieties are available. Apart from that, so many number of traditional varieties also available. So some of the materials have really useful things, particularly some of the rice variety like Navara rice. It's considered to be a medicine. So these particular things have the medicinally that have the curing potential of issues related to circulatory systems and respiratory and digestive related issues, and also that are really good with reference to functioning of the nervous systems, and also that have pest and disease resistant characters. So Navara rice itself have all these properties. It's a medicinally good. If you consume this one, you can get away from the circulatory related problems and respiratory related problem and digestive and nervous system problems. So really useful one. So we can directly make use of these rice for curing all these things. Apart from this, we can make use of these material for development of new varieties. So these things, it's a product of it's a material of India. Once these material to go outside of our country, automatically that fellows also will start to produce and sell commercially, and also they will go for breeding approach. By that way they can transfer the useful character available in the Navara rice to the local rice. By that way they can also have similar kind of material. So all those things need to be protected, then only this will the rights of these material will be resist with us. And similarly we have another rice, it's a pora rice. It's no need to go for cooking, so straight away we can consume. Pokali rice, it's a very good material with reference to salt resistance, And cellulose rice, it's a curing of the stomach ulcer. This is also a medicinal rice. And tonti rice, this have a drought tolerant potential. And then jugal and satin rice, that is resistant to BLB and PPH and multiple grains. And Karcha local wheat, it's a salt tolerant one. And Naga chili, it's a pesticide values. And Dagadi sorghum, pest quality, roti making purpose we can use this. And sugarcane table purpose. And Kalitur pijanbi, so resistant to drought and stolti mosaic virus, and also the grain quality also very good. Like that we have a more number of useful plant material. So all those plant material have really some medicinal values that have resistant to pest and diseases, and resistant to drought, and resistant to salt. Like some useful things are there. Straight away we can make use of that material for product development, or we can make use of those material for breeding up a new variety. So all those things need to be protected, then only that material will be the country of our own. If it is not protected, so that material will be very well exploited by the other country people, and they will enjoy the benefit. Once if it is protected, so for making use of that material for their purpose, they have to pay some under the royalty, they have to do some benefit sharing. That is the advantage of this IP protections. So under that intention only, we were also started this PPVFRA. It's a kind of a protection system for our plant varieties. Not only for our plant varieties, through this act we are also going to protect the rights of the farmers and rights of the breeders. And that is the thing. So this kind of protection will increase availability of new superior varieties with climate resilience and resistant to pest and diseases, tolerant to antibiotics diseases, and nutritionally superior material. So this is the main objective of the PPVFRA Act 2001. The first one is to provide an effective system for protection of plant varieties and rights of the farmers and plant breeders. And then to recognize the farmers in respect of their contribution made at conserving, improving, and making available plant genetic resources for development of new plant varieties. So particularly the farmers over the period of time, traditionally they are maintaining some traditional varieties. All those varieties have some useful properties, like I already told you, some useful properties. So those material we can directly use, or that material will be used for our breeding program in view of developing some latest variety based on our needs. Then the third one is to protect the plant breeders' rights, because the breeders are also putting more effort as outcome of their past 6 years or 7 years of work. They are developing a variety, so that should be protected. Then only more number of breeders will show interest towards development of a new variety. So that is another thing. And above all, to facilitate the growth of the seed industry, to ensure production and availability of high quality seeds and planting material. So these are all the four main objectives of the PPVFRA. In short, so this is formulated mainly for the purpose of protection of our plant varieties, protection of the interest of the farmers, protection of the breeders' rights, above all to facilitate the growth of the seed industry, for maximizing the production and productivity of our country by the way of providing good quality materials. So that PPVFRA Act 2001 that deal about all these matter in detail. So in these particular slides I wanted to give you in short about all those matters. So this PPVFRA ensure on the breeders' rights. So once that the breeder developed variety have N-DES character: novelty, distinctness, uniformity, and stability. Novelty, that should be novel. So whatever that material is developed, that should be novel, that should be distinct from already existing variety. So that kind of material will be protected. So once that material is protected under PPVFRA Act, that exclusive rights to be given to that particular breeder. So only that breeder alone able to produce and distribute that material, or otherwise that breeder can give a license to other persons after getting some monetary benefit through this particular thing. So that also there. Then researcher rights. So whatever that variety protected under this particular act, suppose a person wanted to use that material for research purpose, mean they are free to use this material, except that EDV. So different kind of materials also we are going to discuss. At the time I can tell you what is EDV. So the researcher, they are allowed to use registered material for R&D purpose, so there won't be any restrictions. And the farmers also given with enormous rights, so that also we are going to discuss so in the next slides. And then the farmers under benefit sharing, so whoever involved in the conservation activity, so that also going to get some amount of money. And then suppose that metal is maintained by the one particular individual, that metal is used for breeding activity, means so that whatever the variety developed, so by the way of protection and getting a benefit through that material, means that benefit will be shared. So that benefit sharing options also available in the PPFRA. Then PPFRA National Gene Bank also there. So whoever protect their material in the PPFRA Act, they have to give their seed material. So all those materials should be deposited in the National Gene Bank. So if it is a variety, mean that material alone. If it is a hybrid, means the hybrid along with the parental line material should be deposited in the National Gene Bank. Then that PPFRA also going to create a national gene fund by the way of earn money through benefit sharing of registered variety, annual fee paid by the breeders, compensation and contribution received from the national and international organization. By accumulating all those money, they are going to create a national gene fund. So through this national gene fund, they are also going to give a award for the person really involved in the conservation of the useful germ blossoms. Particularly the farmers are involved in the conservation of the useful germ blossoms. So those germ blossoms really have some usefulness with reference to breeding activity, so that particular farmers will be awarded. And similarly that farmers also, suppose the farmers develop a variety, that variety also eligible to protect under PPFRA. And another important things with reference to farmers point of view, at the time of protecting their variety by the breeders, they have to submit application. That application they have to disclose expected performance of that particular variety. Suppose the farmer at the time of cultivations, they are not able to get any good yield at the times, their expected performance is not achieved or realized in the farmer conditions, so that protected breeders need to pay that compensation. So that kind of things also there. And then another important thing is, after getting protection for the variety, in order to create artificial demand in the market, some of the breeders or some of the person protected their material, they will stop that protection. By that way they will try to create a artificial demand. So if it is observed this kind of activities within 3 years of 3 years period of protection, that material is not produced and supplied enough quantity, means that PPFRA, they will assign your production of that material by the some other company. By that way that will made made that material available in the market and the markets. So that also there. And this give a provision for the central government to establish national registers of the plant variety. So they are going to have national registers. So under these varieties will be and the name of the varieties, all those things will be registered. And also this give a provision for the central government to establish protection of plant varieties and farmers' rights authority. So these are all the rights conferred by the farmers under these particular rights on seeds, rights to register, rights, reward and organizations. That is particularly the farmers really involved in the conservation of the useful germ blossom. They will be rewarded through the national gene fund. And right to benefit sharing also. Suppose that the metal conserved by the farmers are used for development of the new variety, means at the time benefit sharing options will be there. And the compensation for losses also, I already told you, the expected performance is not realized under field conditions, So at the time the farmers also eligible to claim for the compensations. And then right against undisclosed use of traditional varieties, and right to free services, and the protection against the infringement, that also there. So these are all the things. So the farmers also free to use that materials. So as outcome of that, some of the farmers also they came forward to register their material. On 30/10/2018, 1587 farmers registered their material in the PPFRA. So some other things are given here. The name of the variety HMT, that name of the farmer protected these particular varieties Tada, Cobra Gate, so that land holding in 1.4 like so these are all the list of the farmers, and the details of their protected materials are given here. So the farmers also showing interest to protect their material. Recently one things also appeared in the newspaper, that is a PepsiCo. They withdraw all cases against the potato farmers. Initially, that PepsiCo company, they registered two of their hybrids. They protected two of their hybrids like FL1867 and FL2027 in February 2011 with the PPFRA, and also they got a trademark of FC5. So these materials are very well cultivated by the farmers of the Gujarat, and also they go for exchange of the material. At the time that the PepsiCo company filed a complaint, the farmers are misusing these materials. This is product of protected under PPFRA. So they have to get the rights, then they can go for distribution like that. They file a complaint. But the thing is that FC5 material is a extended variety. Extended variety means that material is already available in the public domain. So if it is available in the public domain, means they can use that material. So finally that case also withdrawn. So these things also happen. So what are the materials we can protect under this particular PPFRA? So here we can protect the new variety, that is a newly developed varieties, not yet notified under section 5 of the Seed Act 1966. So that material also we can go for protections. And another kind of material is extended variety. Extended variety means that material already available in the public domain. So under this case three kind of materials are there, that is all notified materials, already notified materials. So that also will comes under that extended variety. Then farmers variety, farmers also keep on cultivating, that also comes under the extended variety. Then variety of common knowledge, variety is available but not yet notified. So that kind of materials are also available. So all those materials are also eligible for protection. So all the three material notified and Seed Act 1966 and farmer variety and variety of common knowledge. So all those things will come under the extended variety. The third variety is a EDV, essentially derived variety. So essentially derived variety also eligible for protections. We are going to discuss. I will tell you that what is EDV in the later sessions. So new variety, extended variety, EDV, all the three kind of materials we can protect under the PPFRA Act. In order to protect the material, we have to submit application. Along with these applications, we have to give a complete passport details. Complete passport detail means origin of that material along with their parental details, and also we have to fill up that technical questionnaires also, and also we have to submit a seed material also, and also we have to submit a DUS character, distinctness, uniformity and stability related information also we have to provide in the form of morphological descriptors. So that also we have to, then we have to pay make a payment also, fees also we have to pay in order to get protection of our material with the under PPFRA. And if it is a extended variety means already that is available in the market. As evidence for the availability of the material in the market, we have to submit a sales invoice also. So all those things we have to submit. At any cost, that seed material developed, the variety developed by adapting that GURT technology, that is a gene use restriction technology. Gene use restriction technology or terminator technology means that material is not eligible to register under PPFRA Act. So new variety that is eligible for getting protection in the PPFRA under section 15 subclass 3 and 9. So new variety means it's a newly developed variety not yet notified under section 5 of the SEED Act. So in order to get protection for this variety, that variety should have a NTUS character. Novelty must be there, then distinctness, uniformity, stability must be there. That should be under a cultivation for the period of less than a year in India. If it is outside the India, if it is a tree or vine crops, means 6 years, and that is over a 6 years period of cultivation. For other cases, less than 4 years period of cultivation. So this material also eligible for registration under a PPFRA Act. Then extended variety, I told you that 4 kind of material. That is material already available in the public domain that may be notified under SEED Act, that may not be notified under SEED Act, or it may be a farmer's variety. These are all the things. So notified under SEED Act means already released, already notified. So that material also need to be protected. Some of the variety maintained by the farmers. So the farmers also they can go for protection of their material. Then material already available in the public domain. So these are the things also we can protect. So their section wise where they can material can be protected. That things are all available in this particular diagram. Then protection of extended varieties notified under section 5 of the SEED Act. So for this particular case, so already this particular material is notified, so already available in the public domain also. So for notification purpose, definitely they made of they submitted the DUS characters. If it is already available in the public domain means, if it is available in the public domain means still date that is ruling means definitely some novelty is there, definitely some useful things will be there, then only the people will continuously use that material. So because of that, if it is already available in the public domain means here no need to submit that DUS characterizations. Straight away that application will be submitted to the 7 members extended variety recommendation committee. So based on that recommendation, that extended varieties of extended variety notified under section 5 of the SEED Act will be protected. Then variety of common knowledge. So this material not released and notified under section 5 of the SEED Act, but that is available in the public domain. So if you want to protect that kind of material means that material should be or capable of satisfying the definition of the variety, capable of satisfying the definition of the variety, that should be under cultivation or marketing during the time of filing of the application, and that material should have a true representative seeds of the variety, and that should be available at the time of filing of the applications, and sold or otherwise disposed of in India more than 1 year but less than 15 years period to date of filing of the application. And in case of trees and wine, it should not have been sold or otherwise disposed of 18 years prior to the date of filing of the application. So these are all the criteria that need to fulfill. Then only the variety available in the public domain, not released and notified under the SEED Act, is eligible for registrations. Then EDV, that EDV means that variety is developed from the initial variety. Say example, I want to quote you one example. CR1009, it's a very good variety, bold grain variety, really good. So from this now we developed CR1009 Surbone. So here the difference between CR1009 and CR1009 Surbone is CR1009 is not a submergence tolerant, whereas CR1009 Surbone is a submergence tolerant. This is the only difference between these two. So now that CR1009 is a initial variety, considered as initial variety, CR1009 Surbone is a EDV, essentially derivative variety. EDV means the variety developed from the initial variety, and also the EDV must have some heritable variations when compared to the initial variety. So that should be there. So then only that will be considered as a EDV. So that EDV may be developed from the initial variety either by adapting transgenic approach or background derivatives or mutant or chimera or homoclonal variations, whatever may be, but that EDV must have some heritable characters or heritable variations when compared to the initial variety. So this variety also eligible for registration, eligible for protection under PPVFRA Act. And then registration of the EDV, that is a separate section 23. So here that is in this EDV must satisfy the section 15, and after register is satisfied, they can forward the application to the authority. That authority will decide case by case. Finally, if everything is satisfied, that will be registered under PPFRA Act. Then procedure for registrations. So that they have to submit application. That application they have to give a complete passport details, origin of that material, and evidence for the owner of that particular material, and the parental line material, and everything we have to furnish, and the geographical location also we have to furnish. So all those things should be submitted to the registrar along with specified quantity of the seeds. So after receipt of the applications, that will be advertised in the PPVFRA website, calling for objection for about 3 months. Within 3 months, if anyone have if anyone feel that one is a material of their own, so along with the proper evidence, they can raise objections. Once that objection is raised, so until that case get distributed, until that things is solved, that registration will be stopped. There won't be any registration for that 3 months period of advertisement. There won't be any issue. They will give a protection to that particular persons. So the period of protection also 15 years and 18 years for trees and vines. So to that we are completing that PPVFRA. So and also we are completing that seed legislation system of India. So from the next class onwards we are going to discuss some seed promotional policies. So as a summary of this particular PPVFRA, so this PPVFRA, in order to fulfill that TRIPS agreement, we formulated this particular policy, this particular act. So this is mainly working for protection of the rights of the breeders, farmers, and also to protect the plant varieties. If you have any doubt, any queries, you can post all your queries in the Google Classroom or in the WhatsApp group. I am ready to clarify your doubts. Thank you.